Welcome to the PFS podcast. We are Paler Financial Services and are going to be covering various financial topics and current events.
Mark Paler here for Paler Financial. As a financial planning and investment management practice, we work with small businesses all the time in the establishment of their retirement plans. Just so happens that the state of Colorado passed a law a while back that my colleague Mark Mogle is going to highlight in consideration of the requirements for small businesses to have a retirement plan.
Thank you, Mark. So back in July of 2020, the Colorado Secure Savings Roth IRA program was signed into law. This program encourages small business owners to provide, and more than encourages, really requires small business owners to provide a retirement program to their employees. Prior to this, 40% of private sector Colorado employees did not have access to a retirement plan. The program now requires all small businesses with 5 or more employees to offer some kind of a small business retirement program.
Now, normally within town, we hear about 401ks, which is described as a defined contribution plan. Mark, what's a defined contribution plan?
Yeah, great question, Mark. So a defined contribution plan, as opposed to what we used to have was a defined benefit plan. A defined contribution plan basically says what the employer is going to contribute in the form of, let's say, like a matching contribution. So a lot of employees who have a 401k would be familiar with this, but let's say the employer says for every 4%, that the employee puts to their 401k, the employer will match that 4% of their income. And so it defines that contribution amount from the employer to the employee.
What would be the most popular type of defined contribution plan we see out there in the marketplace?
Yeah, so the most popular and the most commonly known is a 401k. Now, there are other types of retirement programs defined within the Internal Revenue Code, but the one that most people are familiar with and the one that certainly is talked about in mainstream society and in media and culture is the 401k program.
And the money that goes in the 401k comes in 2 parts, right? Those parts are what?
Yeah, another great question. So the 2 parts are the employee's contribution. So the portion that the employee has chosen to deduct from payroll. And typically with a traditional 401k, the employee gets a tax deduction for that. And they say, hey, I'm going to put that into my personal 401k account invested for my future. And then with that, the employer generally has a matching schedule. Let's say it's 3, 4, 5% maybe, that they say, hey, employee, if you contribute at least, 4%, or should I say up to 4% of your annual income into your 401k, we will match that 4%, fundamentally doubling a contribution and what a lot of people would describe as, quote, free money based on what the employee has set aside.
Now, we're talking about everything happening at the business level, the employer level. And from an employer's perspective, why would somebody adopt a plan like this, notwithstanding the Colorado requirements?
Yeah, great question. And so there's really a couple of reasons, but 2 major reasons that an employer would adopt, let's say, a 401k retirement plan or some kind of a retirement plan. And generally, let's say if the employer has goodwill towards their team, it's to have happy team members, to provide the team with the opportunity to save for their future through a small business retirement account vehicle for their future. And I believe firmly that happy team members create a happy environment, and then ultimately happy team members can service clients and customers in a more effective way, which ultimately drives more profitability towards the business. So really everybody wins. So that's the idea there. And then additionally, it's retention. And maybe also team member acquisition as well, but it's two different sides of the same sword. But retention, there are a lot of employees who possibly would consider leaving a company or moving on to another company because their current employer is not offering a retirement account of some kind or retirement plan. As we mentioned earlier, 40% of Colorado employees currently do not have a small business retirement option. And so retention and then also possibly acquisition. If you have new team members or you're looking to hire new individuals, they may possibly say, hey, two companies are exactly the same, but this one offers a small business retirement plan option. And so therefore, for my future, I'm going to go with this option. So retention and then also acquisition.
Well, there you have it. Let's be good, do good, and succeed. If we succeed and are profitable and stay in business and have good team members, are more productive, they're happy, we can recruit good talent, then it's good for everybody, all concerned. So Colorado established the requirements. We have to comply with those requirements. If you don't have a small business retirement plan and you do have 5 or more employees, there are some severe penalties. So if you need some help, give us a ring. Our phone number is 303-858-0045. And let's go out there and make some money and be profitable. The information presented is not intended to constitute advice. We relied on sources we believe to be bona fide and accurate. Each person is responsible for exercising independent judgment in determining whether the information provided is appropriate for themselves.